So hello, all of you witches and witch-friendly folk. We are live. I am about 2 minutes earlier than I posted, but I figured let me get this up and running so that all of the glitches are worked out before we really get into it. The reason I'm holding this Facebook Live is to answer all of your questions about the Goddess Divine Retreat, which is happening in the beautiful Sedona, Arizona in March of 2020. And this is going to be a 4-day, 3-night retreat for women and female identifying folk who want to increase their magical prowess and who want to technical difficulties. And those who want to, simply unplug from your hectic life for a while so that you can reconnect to the goddess within and, give yourself that gift of divinity and the connection to divinity that really, really can change your life. When I first started to discover goddess spirituality and diving into that was just so very valuable to me because it changed who I am. Fundamentally, it gave me more power. It gave me more confidence. It opened my eyes to a lot of realities of today's patriarchal society and allowed me to discover my true self, my value, you know, um, my divinity, my sexuality, my ability to do magic, and all of those things. So I think that this is incredibly important for women to get away once in a while and be in the company of yin. I wrote an article entitled "In the Company of Yin," and it's just so powerful for a woman, for women to get together in a sacred space and share that. One woman is powerful, but a group of women, if they're really aligned in their intentions and through the heart, we're unstoppable. There's nothing we can't do. We're truly, truly a magical power base. And that's why I host these retreats. And I host them in Sedona for several reasons. One, it's probably one of the most beautiful places on the planet. And it also has a particular energy that lends itself to delving into your own spiritual journey, right? And touching that part of you that is the divine. And so the vortex energies that are in Sedona are part of that. And also I live in Phoenix, so the proximity of Sedona to my home, making this event easier for me to conduct, is another reason that I hold it there. But I still think, what better place to have this amazing, amazing event? I see I have a couple of people joined on now. And what I am going to do in this little it's a little slideshow, and it has some information about what you can expect from the retreat. And if you're sitting on the fence and not sure about it, I have questions that will be answered. Now, the questions that I have to answer are going to be valuable to those of you who've already signed up. I see Deborah and Cynthia, who are two of my goddesses that will be attending in 2020. It'll be valuable for you too, because you'll get some extra details about what to expect and what to bring, all kinds of things like that. So it'll still be interesting for you. Anyone who is with me through to the end of this video, and it's going to be a little on the long side, it might be an hour depending on how many questions we get. Anybody who's with me through to the end of the video will have an opportunity to receive this valuable gift that I've created. It is a full color PDF that gives you a mind map Like, you may feel like that's a dangerous place, getting inside Renee Demoiselle's brain and looking around in there, but it's a mind map of how I create rituals and the components that go into it and what I think through in order to create a ritual so that it'll be usable and convertible for anything that you want to anything that you want to create a ritual around. And then it gives an example of a dark goddess ritual, which is a perfect way to connect to that shadow self, that shadow divinity that is within you. It deserves just as much love and care and acknowledgement as the uh, lighter aspects of divinity that are also within you. And so that's why I decided to offer that. And it gives a PDF that explains the mind map as well as an example ritual for you to, you can use the ritual just as it is, or you can use the mind map to customize it for yourself. And I think it's just a really powerful little lesson plan that I would like to share with those of you who join us today. So please, if you have questions, any questions at all about the Goddess Divine Retreat, post them in the chat box and I will see those and I will do my best to answer your questions. We may have some more people later on, and people come and go sometimes in these things, I know. So even if you want to put your question in the chat box and check it later when I upload it to the event page, you can do that too. So let's get started. So these are some of the reasons you might want to join us for this particular event, right? Unplug from your hectic everyday, commune with breathtaking nature and the divine within you in a way that is uplifting, rejuvenating, and transformative. Initialize the steady, continual deepening of your love affair with the true love of your life, you, and exponentially increase your magical prowess. Now, how can I promise you that? That's a pretty big promise, right? Well, I can. And the whole journey of the weekend is geared towards that, is geared towards you finding that absolutely limitless power within you. It's geared towards helping you recognize that infinite and vast, amazing font of power that you actually already have. What I do is teach you ways to access it and ways to keep it going even when you're not on retreat with a bunch of other powerful goddesses, right? And that's definitely part of what you'll get from this. And when I say initialize the steady and continuing deepening of your love affair with yourself, this is what happened to me when I started practicing goddess spirituality. I had a steady increase of awareness of how valuable my own soul is and how I can connect to that in ways that are peaceful and fulfilling and ways that just help me get through, the hectic, crazy part of life. And I think that's why you need to unplug from that every once in a while to really go inside and feel the power of that part of you that is always going to be able to get you through the difficult things in your life, right? So I'm going to go through this slideshow, but I'll also answer some questions as we go along. And so here you are, exhausted from your everyday life, all the work that you do, all the things that you do for others. You're a goddess. Look at her. She's gorgeous. But you're exhausted. And you maybe are not connected as well as you want to be anymore. And so what we're going to do is turn you into this goddess, badass, empowered, and ready to tackle the rest of your life. She's got all of the electricity, right? So here's the details. This is happening March 20th through the 23rd in Sedona. Let me give you a little bit of information about why I do this, right? My purpose in life, I discovered several years ago, is empowering people and liberating souls. And the more souls that I can do that for, the better. I love to work with women, and I love to work in goddess spirituality. I happen to be a priestess. My main goddess is Athena, who is a very empowering and wise goddess. And my purpose on this life, in this life, is to do just that, to be in sacred service to those who seek my whatever my expertise is, right? Whatever, who seek my ability to help them empower themselves and liberate their souls. Why a retreat? Well, why not a retreat? I host rituals as well. I also coach individually. Um, but a retreat is a wonderful way to just really focus for a whole weekend on yourself and on all of those things that can give you greater peace, greater power, and greater ability to manage your life and respond to the things that come your way as opposed to reacting. So, what qualifies me, right? I am, as I said, a priestess of Athena. I'm also a priestess of Odin. I practice this spirituality. I practice witchcraft in my life on a daily basis. I've been doing this for about 20 years. I had one-on-one training in a witchcraft tradition where I was initiated and elevated to the highest degree within that tradition. Um, I host many, many rituals here at my home in Sedona, and I hosted them years back too when well, my home is in Phoenix, not Sedona. I hosted rituals as well at my spiritual center that I ran in New York State as well for several years. Um, I have hosted ritual for as many as 200 people and as few as one. And I believe that the value that we can access through ritual, through personal journeying, through meditation, through all of these practices that have been in my life for so many years, that can just change you. That can change your life for the better and everything about it. I'm not just talking about your spirituality. I'm talking about how you manifest and how you can change things for the better for yourself and for those that you care about. And it's very, very important. I've hosted retreats for a while now. I also host a retreat based on my book called Storytelling Alchemy, which runs you through the process of how to use that practice in your life and change your outcomes and change your story. This is another way of doing that with goddess spirituality. We have a guest speaker. This beautiful lady that you're looking at now is Melissa Veraldo. She is a good friend and an amazing healer. And she will be giving us a talk in part of our retreat. She'll be participating right along with us through the whole weekend. But she has graciously offered her services to provide us with this wonderful talk on healing generational trauma. She is just an amazing person, licensed massage therapist in New York and Maine. Her practice includes medical massage, sports massage, and nutritional counseling. She's a rising star practitioner through Derek O'Neill in Ireland and a Reiki practitioner following Usui Reiki tradition. She uses music therapy, crystal therapy, aromatherapy to help her clients achieve health goals that they've set together. Her clients include all two-legged and four-legged souls who seek help. Melissa specializes in drug-free stress management and creates many salves, oils, and tonics for her clients. I have to tell you that once you meet her, you will be absolutely blown away by her beautiful energy. She's just an amazing person, and I'm so, so gratified that she's going to be joining us and giving us her wisdom and her expertise through this retreat. Like I said, she'll be there with us the entire weekend, so I know that she'll be offering lots of wonderful insights into our weekend. What can you expect? So, this is a gathering of like-minded sacred sisters. among the breathtaking rocks of Sedona, Arizona, those beautiful red rocks that you see in that image there. We have the vortex energies that are kind of pervasive around the entire town now. But we are going to make our way to a couple of particularly specific vortex sites. And uh, this site has been kind of touted as a spiritual center for many years. I think it was in 1987 that there was an event called the Harmonic Convergence, and it took place in Sedona, among other places around the world, that were seen to have a kind of spiritual power that could be accessed when visiting. And that's what we're going to tap into on our weekend. We are going to start our weekend with a hike down to Oak Creek, to the river. And we're going to have a ritual and an exercise to do there. It's not going to be a strenuous hike. It'll probably be like maybe a mile there, which with some relaxing and hanging out there, and then a mile back. And so that is our journey down into Mother Earth. We want to access the mother energies of Earth and bring those with us on our journey for the weekend. And there's going to be an exercise that allows you to connect not only to that Mother Earth energy that will love and nurture and protect you, but also to some shadow aspect of yourself that needs revealing. And we're going to go through that exercise, and you're going to gather up a stone to take with you that is representative of some shadow aspect of yourself that you really want to heal or bring to the light. And then the following day, we will be climbing up to one of the highest points in Sedona to access Father Sky, to balance it out. So we're looking at Mother Earth, Father Sky energies, and bringing those two together in a way that is so empowering and enlightening and rejuvenating. You'll be amazed at the feeling of the energy that runs through your entire being at the end of that second day. It's going to be incredible. Next, we are staying at this amazing, beautiful mansion. It's a private property with those views on Oak Creek. We have our own private hot tub and swimming pool. It's probably going to be a little too cold in March to be in the swimming pool, but it's there if we want to dunk our feet in or be adventurous, play like polar bears. The mansion itself is just so beautiful. The setting is very peaceful, and there's plenty of room for us. This is not like, I think I remember going on a retreat to a place, this was back east when I was like still in school, and we went on a retreat to the St. Ignatius Monastery, and you had a room where there were three very stark beds right next to each other, and you're sharing with everybody, and it's kind of like, austere. That's not what we're going for here. We're goddesses. We want luxury. We deserve to be pampered, and that's what's going to take place during this weekend. I don't see any questions in the chat. I do hope that this broadcast is working properly. If you're here, give me a hello so I can tell you're here, and ask any questions that you have. So this gorgeous place is going to be our home for the weekend. And so here's just some of the images that show you what it looks like in this gorgeous mansion that we're going to be staying in. We have this beautiful full-service kitchen. So that's one of the things I wanted to let you know if you're coming. And I will be providing breakfasts and lunches throughout the time of our retreat, when you're free to do what you want for dinner. And while I do recommend great restaurants in Sedona to go and visit and get yourself out and just have some nice meals out, you are also welcome to bring your own food and cook in the kitchen if you want as well for your dinners and snacks and that sort of thing. So just a shout out, there's plenty of room. I think that I don't know if all 13 of us could be cooking in the kitchen at the same time, but there's probably room for 4 or 5 at once. So feel free to bring your own stuff too if that's something that you are inclined to do. And it could be a money saver too. You can go out for one nice, really nice fancy meal and then cook the rest of the time if you want to. That's up to you, your choice. So what I am giving you, what this weekend is going to give you is time. I don't want to rush through any particular agenda. Yes, I have a class schedule, but I will not be, you know, running things like a drill sergeant. This is going to be a beautiful, relaxing, lovely weekend. And you will have time for meditation that is optional but highly recommended. You will have time for sharing sacred space with your sisters. Some of them you might know already, some are newly met, and you'll want to get to know each other. We're going to have time for fun and for doing things that are just enjoyable. And then there's going to be precious time for you. In each day of the retreat, there will be time set aside for you if you want to make an appointment at the local spa for some spa services, if you just want to go off and walk some of the red rocks on your own, and if you want to take time for yourself to sit and pray and be by yourself, you'll have all of those choices. You'll have the options. Um, I will have the classes, at specific times, but my experience with these retreats is that it doesn't always go exactly as planned, and I am perfectly fine with that. We'll work around the timing. We'll work around what's going on with you guys and how you're feeling and whether or not we want to like push ourselves to do a little bit more or hang and just sort of relax a little bit. So it's all about you. That's what this whole thing is all about. So this is the overall schedule, right? Friday, you can check in anytime after 10 a.m. And that's an early check-in for most places. Usually check-ins are in the late afternoon. But we want to get started. We want to get to know each other. We want to have a meal, have an opening ritual, call in all the goddesses, and commune with each other and get used to our new little sacred space for the weekend, right? After that, on Friday evening, you'll have free time to, as I said, get your dinner, make your dinner, hang out, whatever it is you feel like doing. Saturday morning, every morning of this retreat, there will be a morning silent meditation followed by some time for us to talk about our previous night's dreams and do some dream interpretation. And that's going to happen pretty early in the morning. I'm not going to put a time to it because I kind of want to, each night before we go to bed, I want to get an idea of how everybody's feeling and what we might want to, how early do we really want to get up tomorrow morning. Saturday, and then we're going to have a little hike to Oak Creek, as I said, down into the womb of the mother. That will be followed by a picnic lunch. And then you will have some free time. So right after lunch, you're going to have time to either go have spa treatments or just relax around the house or whatever it is that you want to do. And then at 6:30 that evening is going to be our main ritual. We have a group called Spirit Steps coming in to guide us through a drumming event that will also be our equinox ritual. And there's going to be an adornment time where we get all lovey-dovey about ourselves and make ourselves beautiful and prepare for ritual. There's going to be some sips of wine available. There's going to be some little snacks and cheeses and crackers and things like that. It's going to be a party and it'll be awesome. And so that's the night that has me saying, maybe Sunday morning, we don't want to get up quite as early for those morning meditations. So we'll play that one by ear and see how everyone feels. Again, morning meditations followed by breakfast. Then we're going to climb up to Airport Mesa Vortex and gaze into the eyes of Father Sky. And access those energies of the vortex site and bring in the energies of Mother Earth that we collected the day before. And this is going to be, so Sunday is probably going to be our most intense day of workshops. This is the one where we're kind of going to crunch a little bit to get all of the good information in there that I want you to have. And we're going to work with the energies that we collected in the shadow work from from Saturday morning, and then we're also going to work with the Father Sky energies of the vortex throughout the day. And this is the day where where Melissa will also be presenting her workshop as well. We'll have lunch, and then again you'll have free time until the ritual on Saturday night. So wait, no, lunch and then free time because you deserve free time. And that'll be another, that's a good time to book your massages or treatments if you're going to have them, and all of that. So what I also have in my hot little hand, if you can hear the paper rattling, is a list of 21 questions that I'm going to answer for you. And if you have questions as well, I will answer those. Some of them I might have answered just in that little presentation, but let's continue. Once again, I don't see any activity here. I hope this is working. I might have to just upload it as a recorded webinar afterwards, in which case I'll just give everybody the goddess mind map and ritual. So here are the 21 questions that I came up with while you gaze at that beautiful view. I am providing breakfasts and lunches, so you might be wondering what's on the menu, can we accommodate restrictions, and can you bring food of your own? As I said, you're definitely welcome to bring food of your own. If you have allergies, I'm going to be conducting, so let me say this. When you sign up for this retreat and when you pay your deposit, you are automatically added to a private group that I host called Goddesses Divine. And within that group is where I'll be sharing all of the really meaty information that you need leading up to the retreat itself. And that's where I'll be sending out questionnaires regarding your diet and any restrictions that you need accommodated. And so, yes, I have a general idea of what our menu is going to be like, but I am absolutely focused on adjusting that for the individuals who will be joining us for the retreat. I'll get that information from you, and we'll work on adjusting the menu. Generally speaking, this is going to be a vegetarian, healthful, hearty, delicious menu. I do have one bit of fish in there, which is wild caught tuna, and that's actually a really optional. It's during our picnic lunch, and it's a pretty optional. It's on Saturday, kind of like there'll be plenty of other things to choose from if you are not a meat eater at all. The menu is not vegan per se, but there will be vegan choices if that's your lifestyle, right? So I think that about covers it for the food. There's going to be lots of salads. There will be like treats and chocolate, and it's not going to be an austere meal menu either. Like, I want you guys to feel good and be happy and enjoy everything that you're consuming over the weekend. And that's, food consumption as well as consumption of the beauty of the area and the activities that we have planned for you. Question number 2, is alcohol allowed? Within reason. I will be bringing some wine that will simply be available to whoever wants some. A little bit of wine, a little bit of champagne, some reds, some whites. And the company that I am buying the wine from is called Nasty Woman. And each of the wines, this is fun, each of the wines is based on some feminist activist who they are honoring with the label. And they're very highly rated wines, so I hope that you enjoy those. And those are going to just be available throughout the weekend in the evenings if you want to have a glass of wine before you go to bed, or if we're sitting and having a little chat, we have some libation to enjoy, right? So if you want to bring something of your own, you're welcome to do so. I kind of discourage the idea of bringing any hard liquor. Um, so if you have an inclination in that regard, then get in touch with me before the retreat and we'll discuss it. Is smoking allowed? There will be a designated area on the property that is outside of the house, but there is no smoking allowed inside of the house. Um, let's see. How's the weather in Sedona in March? What should I pack? So March can be a little tricky in Sedona. We're towards the end of the month where it's starting to get a little warmer. The lows are generally in the 40s and the highs are in the 60s. So for me, that's a little chilly, but I live in Phoenix. That might be absolutely balmy for you. So judge accordingly. And once again, in that group, Goddesses Divine, I will be sending out a PDF list of recommended items for you to bring. You want to have comfortable shoes because we will be hiking. They should probably be hiking boots, but sneakers will do just fine because none of our hikes are terribly strenuous. Um, you want to be warm, so sweaters, jackets are probably a good idea. Um, be comfortable, be casual. I will say that um, during our ritual on Saturday night, as I said, we're going to have that time for adornment and to make ourselves beautiful and prepare for the ritual. So if you have some ritual garb that you really love and that you want to bring, like cloaks or dresses or whatever it is that you usually wear in ritual, if you do that, feel free to bring that. I will probably bring some cloaks myself in case people are chilly and want to look entirely witchy while drumming around the campfire. Because that's fun, and fun is part of being a goddess, in my opinion. Um, let's see. Like I said, should you bring anything special? I'm going to give you a list of the things that I recommend that you bring, but I will be providing you with almost all of the things you'll need during the weekend. You're going to get a goodie bag when you arrive that has some little gift items in it as well as some necessities for the weekend. Um, where do I fly into if from out of town? So Sedona does have an airport, and you're more than welcome to fly into the Sedona airport for convenience purposes. However, I do believe that it's probably rather expensive to fly into this tiny airport. Um, you can fly into Phoenix, and then you have several options. Once we have all of our women in the Goddesses Divine group, I'm going to start talking about ride sharing and even sharing a rental car if that's what you choose to do. I will probably have some availability of um, picking people up. A couple people have arranged for that. I might be able to do it for a nominal additional fee, where we can come pick you up from the airport and take you right to the retreat center. Um, I don't want every single one of you to rent a car and come up because the parking is limited at the house. So we're going to work on consolidating that as much as we can, not only for ease and convenience for ourselves, but also for the environment. Um, so Phoenix Sky Harbor is the airport most likely to choose. But you'll be coordinating with me your arrival times and all of that so that we'll figure that out ahead of the retreat itself. I kind of went through what kind of activities you can expect. There's a little bit of hiking. There's a little bit of inward journeying. There's some journaling that you're going to be doing, some writing, a lot of introspection, a lot of meditation, some dream interpretation, stuff like that, a lot of discussion, divinations. I am going to be providing you with one-on-one divinations via Skype or via Messenger video in the time leading up to the retreat so that we have more time to kind of relax and do what we need to do during the weekend. And so each person will have an appointment with me prior to that weekend where we discover what your goals are and we do a divination to see what energies you might want to be working with, what goddesses you might want to be working with, and I'll give you some information about what you might want to, how you might want to structure your weekend and what you might want to focus on. And so I just answered question number 8 there too. That's the one-on-one divination coaching sessions. There is a spa that I have been affiliated with during my retreats in the past. It's called Uptown Massage, and they have graciously offered to give us a 10% discount during the weekend while we're there. Anyone from the retreat who books massages at that place will get the discount. And we can go, like, if you schedule your times back to back, or there's 2 or 3 women going at once, we'll carpool over there and get those things done for you. Can we stay extra nights before and after? I do have available 1 night before and 1 night after if you want to come and stay and extend your trip a little bit. You'll have to contact me directly so we can work out what the cost of that might be, but I'll try to keep it as affordable as possible for you. Do we need to bring notebooks? No, you don't. That is one of the things that I will be supplying for you. I have journals for you in your goodie bags. Do you have to know anything about goddess mythology before attending? Do you have to be pagan? Do you have to be a witch? Absolutely not. All you have to be is female or female identifying. And, this is about every woman, really. Every single woman on the planet can benefit from this kind of a getaway. It feeds the soul, and it just gives you that little boost of energy to put you back into your life. Nobody's trying to pretend that this kind of idyllic weekend can go on all the time. We have lives to deal with. We have work to do. But these kinds of just getaways where you recognize the power within yourself, where you recognize that there is a spark of divinity in every human being, and that there's a special spark that is feminine, and accessing that and giving yourself that gift of knowing that beautiful feminine spirit that is within you is what this is about. So you don't have to know a darn thing. I will teach you whatever you need to know for this weekend. Let's see. As I said, these hikes are not very long or very strenuous, and we will hike at the pace that is comfortable for the slowest hiker. We're going to take our time. We're not going to rush anywhere. We're going to take in the scenes and the sights, and we're going to be mindful, and there isn't going to be any strenuous, like, let's go out and get our exercise hiking. This is more of, let's go through this beautiful land and experience it and feel the energies, right? You mentioned, okay, so there's a drumming ceremony. Do you need to bring your own drum? You do not. The drums will be provided by Spirit Steps. However, having said that, if you have a drum that you love and you'd like to bring and you'd like to use that, feel free to do that. You're more than welcome. How will room assignments work, and what is the sharing like? So we have several rooms that do have 2 to 3 twin beds within each room. And then there are shared bathrooms, but these bathrooms and bedrooms are luxurious and beautiful. You won't be crowded in. We'll have plenty of time in the mornings for everybody to get into one of the bathrooms. There's like 5 or 6 bathrooms. So the sharing is not going to be a terrible hardship. You will be able to have your privacy and have the room to yourself. And the room assignments, I have 1 or 2 of the clients who are coming who have paid a little extra to have private rooms. And then the rest, I think what we're probably going to do is draw lots and see who falls out together. Or if you have gotten to know each other a little bit prior to us actually going on the retreat, which you probably will within the Goddesses Divine group, then you can pair off yourselves and say, oh, well, Deborah wants to room with Cynthia or something like that, right? Um, let's see. The checkout time, I told you the check-in time is anytime after 10 a.m. and hopefully before noon so you don't miss our little lunch and get together. Um, and the checkout time on Monday is around noon. We're going to have breakfast that day, but that's the last meal. But you're welcome to stay until noon, but I have a feeling most people will be wanting to go off. They might have their spa day that day. So there's time for you to hang out probably till noon, 1 o'clock um, on Monday. And let's see. I will also produce a recommendation of activities within Sedona for you to visit in your free time, places to see, some of the highlights, a list of my favorite restaurants, and things like that. So you will receive um, some expert local information on the things that are kind of a must-see in Sedona and around the area. Um, so, yeah, what on earth is a vortex anyway? Some of you may already know about the vortexes and they say vortexes, not vortices. It drives me crazy too, um, in Sedona. And really, the first time I entered Sedona, I felt it in a way that was almost giddy. I had a feeling of lightheartedness. I had a feeling of, um, almost euphoria. And when you're sitting among the rocks at or near one of the vortex sites, it becomes incredibly easy to drop into meditation and to access a sort of spiritual trance state in that environment. It's amazing. And while there are several, I don't know how many now they say, that maybe a dozen specific vortex sites around Sedona, it is my feeling and understanding and belief now that I've been there so many times that the entire city is encompassed in this vortex energy that allows you to access that spirit so easily and so readily. Um, there are several little spots that I'll tell you about that I think are really kind of freaky and fun. That if you have the energy and want to go see, I'll direct you as to how to do that as well. Um, let's see. I still haven't seen any questions in the chat, but if you have questions, you can also put them in the comments after I upload this to the event page. And so one of the other questions I put down was, will we be waking up very early? There are probably a couple of mornings where I'm going to encourage early rising to meditate and get things done. But as I said, I want to gear it towards what you really want and how everybody is feeling. We'll have a discussion each night of the retreat just to find out how everybody's feeling and what the group mind says is the best thing for when to wake up the next morning and the meditations and that sort of thing. Also, there are going to be times throughout this weekend while we're off kind of doing the exercise that's been assigned. You're going to be journaling, you're going to be meditating, you're going to be going within. You may be pairing up with some of the other goddesses in attendance from time to time. But during the whole weekend, I want you all to feel free to come to me and say, hey, we talked about me achieving such and such goal this weekend. Do you have suggestions for me as to how to, direct this particular activity into that goal? I want you to come to me with those kinds of questions. And I want us to hone this experience for you, for your growth and for your enlightenment and for your increase in magical prowess, right? We want you to come away from this weekend the badass goddess that you are. And that is the end of the